At this point, once we have gone through the concept of a relative, which was useful for us to introduce the concept of a minor scale, because we needed this relationship between the two scales to see how to build the minor scale, since we started from the 6th degree of the major scale and created the minor scale using the same notes as the major scale from the major scale, which has the tonic note on the 6th degree of the relative major scale. In our example, we used the C major scale, and from the C major scale, we picked the 6th degree, which is the A, and created this minor scale. Now, we can see this minor scale without the context of the C major scale. We now want to analyze it in an absolute value without keeping it compared, we could say, to the C major scale. So we have already found it and created it, and it's made of the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now, this scale isn't called just the A minor scale. Its actual name is the A minor natural scale. A minor natural scale, and the word natural is added because it's created in a natural way, we could say, from the relative major. Since I just used the same notes, only starting from a different note, so it was created in a natural way. So it's called the A minor natural scale. But when we introduce the A minor natural scale, we might run into a problem, hidden at first, but if we analyze this scale in a deeper and complete way, we might notice the problem immediately. Up to now, as you well know, we have talked a lot about the importance of knowing the context of the scale and the tonality, since almost all Western music is based, more often than not, on the concept of tonality. So we have used this concept a lot of times and understood what it means. But to recap, it's the set of relations that happens between the various notes and one note called a tonic. So when referring to a tonality, you're referring to the relationships between the tonic note, the relationship between the tonic and the other degrees in the tonality. The two most important out of the other 6 being the dominant and the leading tone. Tonality in particular is strongly based on the concept of attraction, we could say, between the leading tone and the tonic. For example, and let's revise for a moment the C major scale, where we have seen the concepts of tonic, which, of course, since it's the C major scale, is the C note, the dominant, which is the G, and the leading tone, the 7th degree, of course, is the B, which is always on the 7th degree on any given major scale. We can see that there is a strong attraction between leading tone and tonic, because the leading tone has the tendency to go higher towards the tonic. It has a tendency, it has almost a push to go higher towards the tonic. So what is the intrinsic characteristic of the leading tone that makes it want to go towards the tonic? Resolve towards the tonic, the proper word is resolve. The characteristic and the property of the leading tone that gives it this tendency to go towards the tonic is that it is only a half tone lower than the tonic. Let's go back to our A minor natural scale, which we know to be A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So the 7th degree is the G, and the 8th, or 1st if you prefer, is the A, of course. Now let's look at this 7th degree of the A minor natural. We can immediately notice that the 7th degree of the scale is not a half tone away anymore. Instead, it's a whole tone away from the 8th degree. So the distance, the interval, is a whole tone. So this 7th degree cannot be considered as a leading tone, because the main trait of the leading tone is to be a half tone away from the tonic. So this 7th degree cannot be considered as a leading tone. But since most of Western music has always been made from, we could say, from the 17th century on, with an almost obsessive research into tonality, it becomes a spontaneous view to try to change the 7th degree of the A minor natural scale into a regular leading tone, which introduces into the A minor natural scale the leading tone, which is a half tone away from the tonic. So how can this be achieved? Actually be achieved? This 7th degree, which is not a leading tone, can be turned into a leading tone only one way, by altering the 7th degree with a chromatic alteration, so that the G becomes a G sharp, so that we now have one half tone between the two notes. So this 7th degree, if altered, and only if it is altered, can be considered a leading tone. So with the addition of this alteration of this sharp, creating a G sharp, we were able to create, even in the A minor natural scale, the leading tone, which, as you remember, is extremely useful, if not necessary, we could say, to the concept of tonality, because there is an attraction, this tendency of the 7th degree to resolve towards the 8th degree. So this has been achieved with, of course, an alteration, because this isn't the A minor natural scale. Instead, it's called the harmonic minor scale, which is exactly A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, and then again A,